Today, do you want the
Good evening, everybody. Wendell here, Bigfoot 911. Got my buddy Randy Stewart here. He used to be a wrestler, and now he's into TV and radio and all that other stuff. How you doing, Randy?
buddy? I'm so thrilled to be on your show. Had you on Channel 12 TV network the other night on our show. We had a fantastic time. And man, I'm telling you what, I'm happy to be on Bigfoot 911, eating it up today, brother.
Thank you. I'm excited to have you on too. You want to start out with a little bit of your wrestling stuff before we go into the rest of it?
Yeah, what do you want? You ask the questions and I'll blow it out for you. What do you want to know?
When did you start wrestling?
Back in the 80s. I started wrestling back in the 80s and wrestled for the NWA. Wrestled with Ric Flair and Harley Race and the Four Horsemen and Nature Boy Buddy Landell and Nature Boy Ric Flair. Wrestled with all the greats back in the day and with Gordon Soley. And back then I was known as Ravishing Randy. I was part of the Midnight Express for a little bit. And then I won a couple titles and wrestled all over the world, basically. In Mexico, they tried to put a hit on me. And I was in Mexico for a year. I learned how to wrestle in America. Then I went to Mexico to learn the Spanish style. Totally, completely different. We wrestle on the left side. They wrestle on the opposite side. So, we shoot from the right. They shoot from the left. And it was an experience, but I enjoyed it and fought Mel Mascaris and Chavo Guerrero, and hell, I wrestled some of the great Mexican wrestlers, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was my mistress. That squared circle was my stage. Oh yeah. One night I had a dream. The great Buddha Bandine, the lady with the third eye, she came walking down the 13th step of the pyramid. She said, "Ravishing Randy, you are the chosen one to beat Harley Race and Ric Flair tonight in the ring. It'll be a 1, 2, 3. I saw the vision, brother. I saw the vision. As the lightning was crashing, asphalt was flying, the thunder was echoing around me. I saw the vision for that night."
Oh, that's hilarious.
Well, I give you a little one of my old Spectrums I used to use there,
Do you know who that is?
I used to go to Marietta, Georgia, up there to live wrestling, and I'd see Mr. Wrestling and Tim Woods and everybody up there. And
wrestled Mr. Wrestling 1 and 2, and who was the other big guy there?
Bob Armstrong.
Oh, Bob, yeah, I wrestled Armstrong. I think the other guy had Mr. X, the one that wore the big X, the mask.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
Wrestled a lot of those guys. The Armstrong, the father and the son team. Actually, the father was a better wrestler than the kid.
Yeah.
Bob Armstrong was a whole lot better than the kid was.
Yeah, he was. I was kind of upset when he finally had to get out of wrestling because of his injuries.
Yeah, shit happens, I got up because of my injury. I worked for Ted Turner, and the Mexicans tried to put a hit on me. They had my legs sitting on the second rope, and they were getting ready to jump off and shoot the front of my knee to the back. In other words, break it. And I said, "No, this ain't going to happen today." No. And I moved and ended up separating my foot and my ankle through my boot. And it basically put me out of wrestling for a while.
Did you
ever? I'm not here.
Let me cut this thing off over here.
Yeah.
If I can.
Hello, buddy.
Come on around, Nancy.
I get to see you live now.
I'm live, baby. I'm right here.
Hi.
Great. Hello. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm good.
Are you going to be on the show with us today or no?
No, I just wanted to say hey to you, but I'm in the show now. Hi.
You're in the show. We're all wrapped up in one. Like Macho Man would say, "Oh, yeah, wrapped up in one." That's what we are.
Now, do you know who that is, Shane?
Yeah, I do.
Who?
All right. You said you wrestled Ox Baker at one time?
Ox Baker, I was like, let's see, I was about 24, 25 years old. And Ox Baker came out. He was a big man, bald head, had that mustache all handlebarred out. And I
Yes.
said, oh my God, this is not going to be good. I could see this going bad. And super, super, super nice guy.
Did you wrestle Steve Austin?
When he was the ringmaster, when he used to come out with a chair and a chair and a whip, and he had hair.
Okay.
He wasn't Stone Cold Steve Austin until he went to the WWF. He was called the ringmaster, and he had real long hair, kind of looked like a girl.
Yeah.
I mean, the bald made him a better man. Really, he did. Yeah. And Stone Cold, if you're watching, brother, bring it on.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
As one of my best friends would say, you know, I float like a butterfly. I sting like a bee. That's why they call me the Great Muhammad Ali. You know, that's right. Yeah. I ain't scared of none of them. Bring it on. We might have to go out there and have to be we'll be on walkers fighting each other, but we'll get the job done. You know.
There you go. So how'd you transfer over from wrestling to your new position?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I got hurt in the business. I couldn't wrestle anymore. And so I went into the music business. I was at a bar one night and a band was sitting there and they're going, you know, I was talking to the band. And they said, you know, I wish I could get somebody to book us. And I said, well, why don't you give me a try? Let me see if I can get you guys in some, you know, some other honky tonks and venues and bars. And I took them. At the time, it was like American Idol, but it was called some Nashville something, whatever. And I took these guys from nothing, from a bar, to win first place in Nashville at the competition. And everybody's, you know, then when they finally made it, well, we don't need you anymore. You know, we're stars. I'm like, who do you think made you stars? Well, then after I thought about that, I said, you know, something, I'm doing something wrong. There's other bands out there that want to be discovered. So I said, all right, well, ROCKIN Randy's going to do this now. So I went out and started booking bands, and bands were getting really good money when I worked. You know, I was booking just local bar bands, and then I got into booking Kenny Rogers and Merle Haggard, and you know, I was on a lot of shows, and I was vice president of Next Star Record Company out of Nashville, and that's what really started out the music business. But I lived in Florida, and I had my own TV show, Studio 10. I had a cable show called Around the Couch with ROCKIN Randy, like a Tonight Show, and people loved it. My first night out on TV, they advertised I had 66,000 viewers because I was new. I was, you know, unscripted then like I am now. And I just got the vice president of a music company and traveling around with bands and with Sugarland and Kentucky Headhunters and just a lot of the majors. And from there, I was like, I like this. And then I started entertaining because I do magic, I do impersonations, I do ventriloquism, I do everything. So I was becoming not only their manager, but their opening acts. So I said, okay. So I had a radio show in Florida. I was an AM FM and did that for a while, traveling around with some of the biggest and the greats. And I said, I moved to Vegas, which you gotta love Vegas. Yeah. But anyways, I opened up my own radio station here instead of being on somebody else's, WROK Radio FM, worldwide streaming. And I said, I like this, you know. And so I opened up a podcast show, and podcast wasn't an upgrade, but the people that I met was an upgrade.
Yeah.
You know, you meet somebody like meeting you and other people who are on Channel 12 TV network, other people, you know, it just made a lot of good friends. The TV and radio business is nothing but a horror's game. And people will, you know, it was different. So then I said, you know, something, I'm being tired of Facebook and YouTube telling me what I can and what I can't say. Let me see what it takes to open up a TV station. I own 12 TV stations here in the United States, in Ireland, and England. So we're on Roku, we're on Fire Stick, Apple TV, Apple phone. We're on Android phone, Android TV. We're also, yes, Kentucky Headhunters, great guys. We're also on Chromecast. And we got stations in, let me see if I can run down the line, Michigan, Maryland, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, Texas, Illinois, California, and then my home base right here in Las Vegas. So being president, owner of Channel 12 TV network, where you can watch us on TV, you can watch us on your computer, you can watch us on your phone. It's just booming and blossoming. And not only do I own it, but I have my own shows. I produce a lot of the shows, and which you were on NCI show the other night with us. I produce that show. I'm in that show. There's a lot of shows I'm in. I try not to be, but somehow I get dragged in, so.
Yeah, I know how hard it is to drag you into being on the screen.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting in my house today here in Las Vegas. I didn't even put up a background or nothing. I said, we're going to shoot this free and clean, just like my show. Uncut, unedited, unscripted, and raw. Love to be raw and unedited and cut because I don't have bloopers. They're always in my shows. I love the bloopers.
Yeah. You should have seen the one I did at noon today. It's full of them.
Yeah, I have a moment like that.
I don't talk about this very much, but I tried to do a little promoting for a band one time.
Yeah.
I went out and got them some gigs at a couple of National Guard armories and a couple of parties and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But I finally got around to, I've got them a gig at a major bar in Marietta, Georgia. And
love Marietta, Georgia. Wrestled there many, many weekends.
Yeah. And they was wanting to be the house band for 6 nights a week. And
that's a tough gig.
Yeah. And they decided they didn't want to do it because of their work and family and everything. They just wanted a 1 or 2 day thing on the weekend. That's all they wanted. Weekend
warrior musicians. Yep. I've been through that, done that.
And that was going to be a very lucrative deal for both of us if they went for it.
What bands don't understand, when I was in Florida, I tried to explain it to them. They rather go out and work for $25 a night. They split $300. I said, why would you want to work $300, make $300? I don't even get put my boots on starting at $300. I'm not rolling out of bed for $300. Well, we like to play. I said, yeah, but you guys can make so much more money. I said, the deal is DJs at the time were killing it because, if you have a DJ at a wedding, he's a built-in jukebox. Hey, you got that song? He looks it up, he's got it. Or he's got a rack of CDs. And I said, it's killing you guys. You got to start a union. I tried to start a union, and I said, the bottom line is, and I had a big meeting. I brought like 15, 20 bands. We met at a bar, a friend of mine in this back room. And I said, if you all stick with me, I'll make you some money. I said, because in the music business, you take 10 to 20%. I said, I'll take 15%. And I'll guarantee you can go out and make $3,000, $4,000 a night. Oh, no, some did. We got to pay you 15%. Well, yeah, I'm the guy who's doing all the talking, And I would say, give me your CDs. Let me hear what you got going. And some of them were terrible. I mean, it was bad. But they were still working. And, I said, if everybody would stick to a one price, we need $1,000 a show. It will hurt the DJs. But see, the bar owners will call up, hey, so-and-so, did you have so-and-so playing at your bar last week? Yeah, what'd you pay him? Oh, I gave him $200. Dude, you're asking for $1,000? I'm like, yeah. Well, you're not going to get it because you just charge the guy down the street.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, you got to stop doing that. Some of the bands didn't want to do it. Other bands did, and they made lots and lots of money. And I made lots and lots of money. Big venues, state fairs, flapjack festivals, blueberry festivals, Florida State Fair, the Strawberry Fest, up and down on the radios, up and down. And it's a really good living if you do it right. But musicians are like little kids.
Yeah.
I've had them on my tour buses. I'm talking major acts. I want to play Nintendo. It's my turn. No, it's my. I stop the bus. Everybody get in your bunks right now, or I'll stop. I'll let everybody off. And I mean, I was the captain of the ship because I'm the guy that's got to drive. I don't want to hear this nagging. I'm like the father. Come up here so I can slap you a little bit. Come here, And it's a tough business, and it wasn't as fun as wrestling. I'll put it to you that way. Made a lot of good money. The band Rehab.
Yeah.
The one that sings the song Bartender. I was on the road with them for 14 weeks. Made super, super money driving the bus and promoting them. We went from New York to California, all the way up into Washington, back to the top of the states, dropped down into Texas and Louisiana, back to Atlanta, Georgia, where they're basically all from, and had a great time. Made good money, and they never made so much money in their lives. But it's if you got a good band, you take out and work with, sell a lot of swag, have a good time, and work together as a unit. Then you can make money in the music business. But TV business, boy, I get some crazies, I'll tell you. What is the wildest match on the moment you ever expressed in your ring? I would say 25 foot hanging up 25 feet on a scaffold above the ring with the Road Warriors. Hanging. And if you fell, you lost. And you're gripping onto that platform. Yeah, you're hanging out for dear life. It's 25 feet. Yeah, 25 feet. It's a long way when you're on top and you're scared. Yes. Yeah, it could have been 2 foot. It would still look far. It's like when you get up on top of the ring rope on the corner post, you look down and go, wow, why did I decide to do this? Looks small when you're downstairs, but when you get upstairs, it's like, woo, okay.
And then you think how much it's going to hurt if you hit that down there.
Oh, you think about how much it's going to hurt if he moves. Or when you got to drop, there's no net. I wrestled with Mick Foley. I've had a lot of crazy matches where he actually wrapped barbed wire around between the ropes, and then he threw out broken glass and thumbtacks. And I'm like, Mick, really? Please don't slam me. This is going to hurt. First thing he did, I'm thinking, oh, please don't slam me. And please don't slam me. Oh, he slammed me. I was picking tacks out of my ass for weeks, out of my boots. And it was those old silver ones like you used to have in school. They're flat and round. Oh, yeah, they're stuck in your boots. They're stuck in your back, stuck in your ass. They're stuck everywhere,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was saying about the promoting thing, that there was a 3-piece band and they had a drum machine, and I got them a couple of little gigs at, like I say, the they call it the National Guard Armory or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And that was like $150 for the weekend or for the night. And that wasn't, it was just like I say, it was every weekend or so I would have something lined up for them. And I was only getting 10% of whatever they got. So,
right.
And then I got with that bar owner and played some of their music for her. And that was going to be a $5,000 a week gig. That would have been nice. And they said, no, we can't do it. I thought, if y'all can't do that, I'm just going to stop trying to help you.
Well, 150 at 10% is only $15, and
yeah,
it's not a lot of money because, I make $15 every 10, 15 minutes. But the deal is, they don't realize you got to go babysit the band, make sure they got a drink tab, make sure they don't get drunk.
Yep.
Every job I ever did, I was the host. I could be 10,000 people. I'd walk around in the stadiums and I see, hey, I said, how you liking the show? Oh, we like it. I wish they play so-and-so. I walk right up to the stage to my band member, come here, play so-and-so. It's not on the list. I don't give a shit. Play it, you know? And people buy me drinks in these large bar venues. And I'm talking we're 300 and 400 people. And a lot of the bands said, you know something, Randy? We may be the stars of the show, the musicians, but you're really the star. I said, how do you figure that? Because everybody in this place knows you. You know, he goes, you mingle with people, you know, and I used to put girls up on the stage and let them dance with the band members, you know, different songs. And I always got bands that could play everything. They can't play everything. And most bands, well, we got a set list. Yeah, throw that set list in the trash. Play whatever comes to mind. Have a good time, you know. And I always had a good time. I was in Dothan, Alabama. We were there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And that Thursday night was 25-cent beer. By the way, it's still 25-cent beer if you go check out Cowboys in Dothan, Alabama. Got great shows, big stage. I just gave Ron Bedford a plug. Thursday night, I put the girls up on the stage. And on Friday night, guess what? They brought their friends back to try to get up on the stage, you know, dance with the band. And one time, the stage was large, but thank you, Erica. The stage was large, and I'd have 20, 30 women up there dancing with these guys, and the band's playing, you know, and the piano player, he's got his arms around them, and the bass player's letting him hold this up there, and he's playing, you know. It was just a good time, you know.
Yeah.
And if you're not having a good, when it becomes a job, it's not fun anymore.
No.
And I was, you know, I charged a lot of money for big bands because I'm not going to go out for $15. I want to make $300-$400. I booked Kenny Rogers' Christmas show in Illinois, and Kenny was always getting like $25,000. And I said, Kenny, got Christmas show? I said, I get $50,000 a night. He goes, what are you smoking? I said, I got you $50,000 a night. And I told him how I did it, and you know, and he's like, come to my bus. I love this. You know, same thing with Willie Nelson. Because, you know, your charge is $75 a person. You got dinner and Kenny's show. Give me $2 off of every ticket. So you're still making $73, and we're making $2 a person. And, you know, you tell someone $50,000, I used to have to wait for him to get up off the floor. Did I have a small stroke? No, you didn't. Kenny's worth $50,000, you know. But it's a numbers game. I try to help people in the music business. If you're an independent musician and you like to have your music played, WROK Radio FM. I should put my thing up there so people can see it.
Yeah, you should.
I'm gonna throw my virtual up there for you.
All right.
So people can see it. If you're an independent musician and you would like to, I got to set the settings backwards. If you like to,
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, it's backwards on my side.
It's not over here.
All right. If you guys would like to have your music played, send it to WROK Radio FM at gmail. No, it's WROK TV Las Vegas at gmail.com. And I'll play your music on the radio. If you're a band out there, if you got any bands, I love independent musicians. Being in the TV business, I try to give a lot of independent podcasters a chance to go to TV, you know, because podcasting and TV is a whole different ballgame. You know, we don't have the audiences that can type in on the shows. We're all pre-recorded, and it's a tough business, you know, but everybody needs a chance, and that's what I try to do, is give all the ones that have worked hard get a chance. You know, to me, when I help people, the Lord helps me. And, you know, believe it or not, I am a evangelist preacher, and I don't act like one. You know, I'll still tell you a dirty joke and have a drink with you, whatever. You know, it's just, Lord knows who I am. Praise God, He'd give Him the power and the glory, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that you brought up that's part of the show, really, is you said you've had some Bigfoot experiences.
Whoa. Where do you want me to start?
At the beginning, of course.
Okay. My very first, I was like 4 or 5 years old in Waverly, Tennessee. And my grandfather owned a lot of property related to Loretta Lynn. My grandfather sold her most of her property. It's at the time it was scary, but it wasn't scary because you were a kid. You're not really scared.
Yeah.
I used to like to ride the mule back to the barn when my grandfather was done, on the field. So I was out there one day and it started lightning out, heat lightning. And I said, Grandpa, I want to ride the mule. And he goes, no, I can't ride the mule. And hot animals get struck by lightning. So we're walking. He turns the mule loose, and we're walking back to the barn. And, lightning flashes like a strobe light.
Yeah.
We're probably 50 yards from the barn. And this thing is standing up. And the barn door is open this way. And he had a hold, and he's shaking the barn. Bigfoot is shaking the barn. And I says, what's that? And he goes, we got to go. So my grandfather grabs me by the arm, and he's dragging me across the field and across the dirt road. And my toes and my shoes are actually, it's like a cartoon. I was waving in the wind, and my toes are hitting the dirt. And we get to the house, and my grandfather yells to my dad, my uncles, the hairy man's coming. The hairy man's coming. Well, I don't know what the hell the hairy man was. I'm just, a little kid. Matter of fact, I know I was under 5 because I wasn't in school yet. And all of a sudden, we're in the house. And I don't know if you guys in Tennessee, they got those old screen doors with the wood on the outside and the wood in the middle. And it had that metal wire that ran from corner to corner to hold the door together. Bigfoot ripped that door off its hinges. I mean, just ripped it off its hinges. And then I couldn't see nothing but from like his chest down. And my grandfather, my uncle shot him off the porch. And when he fell backwards, it was like a strobe movie. He just fell. It looked like he was falling in slow motion. He hit the ground. I'm sitting in the living room where they had shot him, because he was outside ripping the door off. And they went out there with flashlights. No blood, no Bigfoot. Gone. And then it was probably about maybe 3 weeks. I was sleeping in the bedroom, and they had those big old feather beds. When you're a kid, they're like 10 feet tall. You got to grab the mattress and climb up.
Yeah. And
they had the old windows that went almost to the floor. And I kept smelling this really nasty smell. I'm like, oh, damn, did my brother shit the bed or what? This is nasty. And I looked outside and I heard something going, whoa, oh, and it's eating and chomping and like enjoying its food.
Yeah.
And I looked out the window. It was probably less than 15 feet away from me. Edge of the house was next to the driveway. Then there was a wood pile, and there was a persimmon tree. And I see this big thing pulling these persimmons up, eating them like crazy. And I don't know if I sniffled or what, but he turned around and he looked me dead in the face. And I can remember like it was yesterday. His eyes looked like reflectors. I would say he was a good 8-10 feet tall. And when I say he talked to me, I don't mean like I'm talking to you. It was like I could hear him talk. He said, stay away from the wood pile, bad snakes, bad snakes. I'm like, bad snakes. Okay, so my mom comes in. She goes, what are you doing out of bed? This is like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I said, there's a big bear out there, something talking to me. She goes, go back to bed. There's no bears talking to you. Well, I told my grandfather about that, and he says, oh, yeah, that was a bear. I'm like, okay. I never seen a bear with this look like a gorilla. And I said, no, it looks like a gorilla to me. He said, no, it was a bear. Bears. He goes, we got panthers that escaped from the zoo. They gave me all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So that afternoon, my brother and I were outside playing, and we were kicking a ball in the driveway, and the ball went over by the woodpile, and I reached out to get the ball, and I got bit right here in the top of the head by a rattlesnake, which Bigfoot told me to stay away from.
Yeah?
Yeah. And then growing up, being down there, in the summer months, my grandmother would always take a chicken, a rooster, or whatever she had. She'd break its neck and she would set it on the well. I mean, when I was a kid, you had to go to the outhouse to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. So my mother would say, here, just go in this bucket. I'm like, oh, all right. But, You know, it was rough because they didn't have bathrooms. They had the old with a faucet instead of a faucet, it was a pump. They pumped the water in the sink, you know. And I think back home we got a faucet, turn that baby on and off, you know.
Yeah.
But those are my first two encounters, and then as I got older, I asked my grandfather what that was and who the hairy man was, and he told me, you know, it was Bigfoot. Bigfoot was always interested in the kids. That's why we weren't allowed to get off the porch or run in the backyard by the woods. They had to stay in the front yard on the side by the driveway. And my grandmother would leave that out there as a thank you for him watching over us. But we always had to stay at the house. And then in New York, I had, before I even knew what Bigfoot was, my aunt in Cortland, New York, had a 100-acre farm. And I used to have a little palomino named Candy, and I couldn't jump on her, put a saddle on her, so I pulled her by her mane one time, and she laid down. I'm like, okay, and I got on her, she stood up. So that's how I got on the horse. I pull on her mane, she lay down, I get on the horse. I never put reins on her. And her and I would just ride out through the pasture and down through the woods. And there was a little stream. I used to take those little, I think it was Folgers or Maxwell's, don't matter anyways, with a lid on a coffee can. And I'd catch me little salamanders to take home, you know, back to the city, or little tadpoles. I had forgotten my can. So I told my dad, my dad whistled, you know, he had to come running. The horse was kind of skittish. So I get back home, get back to the farm, and I forgot my can. So I said to my dad, he goes, you can get it in the morning. Get it in the morning. Go down there and get it. Well, the next morning I went down. All my tadpoles and stuff were gone out of the can. The lid was off, and there was a rock inside the can. And I'm like, okay, one of my cousins or somebody did this. Hey, I'll get you, you know. So I started putting my stuff in my can again, capturing some more, and, you know, pollywogs and all this other shit's down in this little stream.
Yeah.
And my horse kept scuffing her feet and, you know, that blah, blah, blah type of thing. And I smelled the smell that I smelled when I was in Tennessee. And I'm like, okay, this is not good. And my horse started walking away from me, not running, she was walking. And I, Candy, come here. When I ran up to her, she laid down. I forgot my coffee can again because the horse is not letting me stay. You know, I didn't want her to run off. It's a long walk back to the farmhouse. And I told my dad what happened. Well, the next day, him and I went down there. Sure enough, all my pollywogs and stuff were out, and there's a rock inside my can. So I had to, you know, Bigfoot was down there. My last Bigfoot I had was, I've seen Bigfoot about 10 to 15 times. It was 2016. I'll go up in the area here, but my two cousins had shot 2 deer, and it was getting late, getting dark. You know how it is in November in Tennessee. Alabama, it gets dark at 4 o'clock. And so we pulled the cars up, and then went in to change clothes, and had the 2 deer hanging up on a post. And Bigfoot I had one of those lights that would come on, you know, I got at Walmart that would come on because it was so dark out. So when I'd walk from my car to the house, I could see. Well, that light must have came on. Bigfoot slapped the house like a truck hit it. I mean, even the knickknacks and stuff were falling off the walls. That's how hard he was slamming the house. My cousins grabbed their guns. We ran outside. Bigfoot had 1 deer under one arm and 1 deer under the other arm. Walked behind the garage, or like a little barn, whatever I'm going to call it. A 1975 Chevy pickup truck. You know, they got the real tall cabs.
Yeah.
It was 3 foot taller than the cab on the other side. 2 deer, 1 on each arm, walked down this little embankment and started going up the hill, and they shot this thing. They unloaded all their rifles, the 2 rifles they unloaded on it. We went outside, and the next morning, there was no blood, no nothing, no deer. All I could see were leaves had been moved, where something walked up the hill was kicked, you know, leaves had been moved. No footprints because the leaves were falling off the ground in November. And then the next day I came home. Well, that day I came home, and as I pulled in the driveway, it was kind of a candy-shaped driveway. I pulled in, and just happened to look up, and there was Bigfoot standing at the top of the hill. And from the top of the hill is at least 100 yards, and he looked like a giant. I'm talking, this boy was big. And I got out of the car, and I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me. And I just looked, I opened up my door to reach in to get my phone out of the cup holder. This is how quick he is. As I reached, which was a second, open the door, reach in, pull it out, he was gone.
Yeah.
You hear him running through the woods and nothing. I'm like, okay, dokie, where did he go? So now I take my phone and I'm putting it on play. Like, this thing kills me. At least I'll find my phone. And my cousin pulls and I say, Bigfoot, top of the hill, bro. So he does this, woo! It goes, I can't see it, but we can hear it.
Yeah.
The sound was pushing on me like I was standing in front of a thunder speaker. It was like you could feel it pushing in your chest. And I said, you guys pissed him off shooting him last night. He's out for revenge. Boy, look at the time. I got to go. I jumped in my car. I went to my other cousin's house, and I did not go back there. I mean, I've never been scared of Bigfoot, but when he let out that yell that I had never heard before, plus he had shot at him that morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, not a place for ROCKIN Randy to be. And that was my last experience with Bigfoot. But I had others when I was younger. I played box lacrosse for the Indians in the Onondaga Reservation, and they had a Bigfoot on their totem pole, and I asked them about that, and they called, I forgot the name they called it, but it wasn't Bigfoot. I got a brain fart working today. Anyways.
That works for everybody, I think.
Well, I told them what had happened to me, and I said, I used to go hunting almost every day. I go squirrel hunting, rabbit hunting in New York, and when I was out there, I'd always smell that smell. And I was sitting in the woods a few times waiting for the squirrels to run around because you sit down so they'll come out, and I was getting like these little acorns thrown at me, but there was no acorns above me. That wasn't an acorn tree, and I just kept getting pinged, and I'm like, something's trying to get my attention. And I'd shoot my squirrel, put in my little backpack, and off I would go. But it was something else. I mean, to have that many encounters with Bigfoot, and I'm not scared of him. Like I said, I do an NCI show. My guys from NCI, we do Bigfoot, we do Dogman, we do UFOs, aliens, we do it all. Great show. Watch on Channel 12 TV network, by the way. Matter of fact, they're in Townsend, Tennessee today for the Bigfoot convention they have over there in Townsend today. They got new stories, and people have never heard our stories, and we show you pictures of Bigfoot. We show you pictures of the Dogman. We show you pictures of werewolves. We'll show you alien spaceships that we've taken in the sky. We're a great show, and I believe that if you show people what the government tells you can't see,
yeah,
it's a whole lot better. So, I've dealt with Bigfoot since I was 4 or 5 years old. I'm 62 years old now, so I was about 58 at the time, and I was younger than that. 56 was my last, encounter. But Bigfoot's real. If you people do not believe in Bigfoot, believe me, it is real. I got the pictures to prove it to you. You don't want to believe in Dogman? I got pictures to show you that. I've got pictures of werewolves. People say, oh, those don't exist. They're only in movies. Oh, no, they do exist.
Well, I tell you, most of the people in our chat here have seen or heard something. This guy got posted up here, Mr. Gary Spikes. He's a moderator for a lot of the podcasts. He has a 15-footer living on his property.
Oh, I believe it. My Robert, who's one of my NCI members, I host a show. He calls him, what the hell does he call him? He calls him little man or some shit. I don't know. And it comes out. I mean, it lives on the property. When his father passed away, the tracks were up against the window looking in. And, he calls him Junior. And he went out there one day and said, hey, Junior, because there was 2 sets of prints. He had a Bigfoot print, and then he had Dogman prints. A Dogman print is kind of round. Werewolves are long and slick, usually 3 to 4 toes, usually 12, 13 inches long. And a Bigfoot, you can't mistake it. 18, 24 inches long, 8 inches wide, 5 inches in the heel.
Yeah.
It's got the broken arch in the side of it. And a lot of people say, oh, and I didn't talk about my Bigfoot experience until I was almost like in my 40s, because I thought people would think I was a nut.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw Bigfoot. No, you didn't. Yeah, I did. And I was always investigating. I was always doing my homework on Bigfoot. And I'm glad I'm on my station right now. I've got one of the best crew, out there. The guys are awesome, and we bring you what we see. And we didn't know. There's usually a dog man. Wherever there's a Bigfoot, normally there's a dog man somewhere. A lot of people. The woods, especially in the Appalachian Mountains, all through the East Coast, in the Midwest to the South, there's a lot of animals out there that people need to watch out for, because they're out there. We've been there. We've seen it. You know yourself. You've heard the stories about the Briarwood. What's a Briarwood?
Briar Road.
Briar. Yeah. I mean, there ain't no such thing. There's people that have seen these werewolves. People got pictures of werewolves who've taken lie detector tests and passed them.
Yeah.
Werewolves are real. Dogman are real. Dogman's been around since the Egyptians. Actually, the Dogman was a large army at one time. I mean, hundreds of thousands of them. And they fought the Egyptians. They fought a lot of wars, and they finally just got, beat down when they were out of existence. But Dogman just started coming back like a year and a half ago out of Canada into Michigan, working their way all the way down the coast, down into Florida. We went this weekend. My guys got some really good pictures of Dogman footprints, Bigfoot stuff, a lot of Bigfoot nesting areas, the trees being wrapped up where they're making it so the animals would run in there and get caught like a corral where they were making their kills off the deer and the wild boar. Bigfoot's real. If you ain't seen one, it will screw with your head.
You think you could show some of them on here?
Let me see if I can go to present here, and let me see if I can. I have a lot of these on my show. They're not on my computer, I believe. Yeah, they're on my show footage. I don't have them on here to show you. I'm sorry. If you'd have told me ahead of time, I'd have brought them.
That's okay. It just popped in my head that you being on StreamYard and all like I am, you might be able to present it.
I don't really know how, unless I have StreamYard also, but I don't know how to pull it from my StreamYard show to your show.
Yeah.
I have no clue. I mean, I know how to find pictures, but I just hit my StreamYard and it opens up, and I don't know how to take it from one to the other. So you have to forgive me, folks. I'm sorry. But hey, if you would like to see them, again, you can come see me on the NCI show on Channel 12 TV network. It's a great show to watch. We show you all the pictures. We'll show you the pictures from this weekend, stuff like that. It's Channel 12 TV network .nowcast.cc. So it's Channel 12 TV network .nowcast.cc. Our subscription channel is $9.99 a month. You can cancel anytime, and there's no contracts. We show Bigfoot stuff all the time. We show werewolves. We show you the Dogman pictures. Our guys go in with 4 cameras on, and they were setting up some cameras, and one of the cameras caught a werewolf standing in a ditch looking up at him, and you can see from his chest to his head. And we didn't know that till after they went home and started going through the footage. They went back. One of the guys, Harley, he's 6'2". He stood right exactly where that werewolf was standing. We couldn't even see the top of his head.
Ooh.
So that thing had to be 9-10 feet tall to do that. And they found a track where he was standing, where his toes were hitting on a little ravine, where he was standing there watching us. Or watching them, not me, but yeah, we like to show. We don't do a nighttime investigation. Oh, look, there it is. There's something out there. It's got to be Bigfoot. Not everything in the woods is Bigfoot.
No.
Not everything in the woods is Bigfoot.
Have you ever had any encounter with little people, the pugwudgie?
I have not. I have had guests on my show that said they've had. I don't, I've had people on my show said they've seen fairies. They've seen all kinds of crazy stuff in the woods. One guy told me he had a scorpion king on his property. I'm like, okay, I don't know how much that is for real, but what's the difference between a dog man and a werewolf? A dog man, God, I wish I could load these pictures. Something, I have them on my phone. Let me see if I can pull this up, maybe show these guys. A dog man has almost like a pit bull face. It doesn't stick out. It's shorter.
Yeah.
Where a werewolf has a longer face like a dog does. Like the movie Howling. Do you ever see how long their face is?
Yeah.
That's what a real werewolf has a face like. And I'm not going to say they're a man turning into a werewolf. I think they're a werewolf all the time, unless they're a skinwalker. But a dog man, if you guys want to really see these pictures, the best way I can tell you is check out Channel 12 because we do show the pictures. Or if you'll send me an email, I'll be more than glad to show you a picture. But a werewolf's got a longer face, bigger pointed ears. Dog man looks like a dog, looks almost like a bulldog. Townsend, yes, my guys are there today for the Bigfoot convention. Matter of fact, the convention just ended about 45 minutes ago. We were there with Mountain Monsters and Myra, however you say her name. We had the largest crowd at our booth than anywhere else because we were showing pictures of Bigfoot, the dog man, their werewolves. I talked to the guys. Matter of fact, I just got the phone when you had called me. They said they had less than 40 or 50 people at their booth at all times the whole day because we do show people and our stories are new and we show you what we see. If we don't see nothing, you see nothing. That's why our shows are. And it's wild because people don't believe in this stuff, but man, you would not believe the reports I get. Being the owner of the station, I get anywhere from 500 to 1,500 a day emails. I was raped by Bigfoot. I'm impregnated by Bigfoot. Bigfoot bent me over, shoved it in my ass. I mean, I even got a guy who was trying to get out of the child molestation charge, saying that he was molesting kids because Bigfoot was molesting him.
That's unreal.
He got life in prison, but I probably get about 30 of those a day.
Dang.
I'm trying to read all your comments over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too. Trying to make sure I wasn't missing any questions for you.
Well, see, I'm not used to doing live. I used to do live when I did podcasts, but when you do TV, we don't have that writing on the side. I'm trying to answer all the questions for everybody. So if you pick one out, throw it out. Hey, I'm happy to answer any questions, anything you want to talk about. Paranormal. I've had experiences with demons, ghosts. I'll show you the M's on my hands. I actually have these shaman powers. I was told the other day, several witches have told me I'm like Darth Vader, that close from Darth Vader. I've had experience with demons coming through my computers, shut my computers off. That's another story. If you guys want to hear, I'll tell it to you. We
love to hear this stuff.
We did a show. I did a show with the haunted taxi ghost tours. They were in Kansas City. You guys want some haunted shit? Go see these guys. They get you in a cab. They take you to tell you about this, and they take you to this house. Now they bought this house haunted. They knew it was haunted, and we've actually had footage on the Tracy Jones Paranormal White Witch. It's one of my shows that I have on Channel 12. I also produce that show, but they got pictures where people are in the house. They take on these tours, and this demon's going up the stairs, and he turns and looks at the camera. I'm like, holy shit! What the hell is that? It's a demon. Okie dokie. And then they had one where they're inside. How people have the screen porches?
Yes.
Well, this has a screen porch, and you see this thing come out of nowhere, look like a big giant tarantula. It's a black entity, and it's walking across, and then it turns into like a snake, and it slithers down the screen, And then you see this shadow across the floor. It goes underneath the door, stands up, and walks out into the yard. I said, what in the God's Almighty is that? And people say they drive by and they'll see, black fat figures standing outside. And they've actually got photos and pictures and videos of these they look like little gargoyles running up and down in front of the house, faster than cars. And one landed in the yard. I mean, these guys got some great footage. Anyways, getting back to the story, he was talking about how demons and possessions and stuff can come through your computers. I was like, yeah, whatever. Okay. Yeah. Well, that night, Tracy, who's my paranormal white witch, she says, Randy, tell Leah hello. And I'm like, Leah's not here. She goes, who's that woman sitting next to me? I'm like, ain't nobody sitting next to me. Steve, he texted me, he says, who's that lady? Now he sees her in black and white. Tracy, who was a real witch porno, which she sees it in color. And I'm like, you two are freaking the shit out of me. There's nobody sitting with me. My wife's in the bed with a dog. I've got a Malinois Shepherd, military police dog. I said, there's nobody here with me. Well, he started talking about demons coming through the computers. And just at the time, just about the end of the show, he started talking about this. I lost all power on my laptop. I mean, it was gone. My computer's plugged in. So I know I got power. I look, it's plugged in the wall. At the same time, Tracy, something grabs her by the arm and drags her and leaves scratches and bruises on her arm. Steve, the guy who owns the taxi company that's got a haunted house, he gets a burn mark of an upside down cross on his belly. Robert Effler, who is one of my guys from NCI, he come on just to watch the show, hear about this stuff. His wife walks in the house because they raise goats. She goes, honey, look at this, our brand new baby goat. Something reached up and twisted its head, broke its neck right in her arms.
Dang.
This all happened all at the same time. So now my computer's off. Tracy's got scratches. He's got a burn, and the little goat gets its head twisted. And I think the spirit or woman who was sitting with me shut my computer down so it wouldn't come to me. But that was the worst happening is my computer got whacked. But the rest of them all had burn marks, scratches, and deformed animals, their heads snapped right in front of them. So, yeah, demons don't like that when you know about them. Yes, they don't. And I've had my wife, who's from Tennessee, one red light town, Christian girl, knows the Bible inside and out. One day she kept saying to me, she said, and I don't tell the story to many people, but I'll share it with you guys. You got black eyes. My eyes are blue. She goes, it's like you have no soul. I'm like, get the hell out of here, blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting on the table reading my Bible as a good Christian. Anyways, she comes out of the room and she says, I don't know her. You son of a bitch. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, she pissed me off and I started chasing her down the hallway. She got to the room. She shut the door. Now I was 260 pounds at the time. I fought guys like Hulk Hogan, big guys and stuff. She weighs $120 soaking wet. I pushed the door open and she took her little hand and she put it on my forehead like a death grip. And I've got both hands like, I'll kill you, motherfucker. I'm trying to pull her hand out. And I could not pull her hand off my head. I tried everything. And she started rebuking Satan, doing this, Bible verses, blah, blah. This woman put me all the way on my hands and knees. Still got me with a death grip. And I still can't pull her hand off my head. All of a sudden, I started dry heaving. Like, and nothing's coming up. All of a sudden, I let out this big, huge breath, gas, of whatever. And it was black and it stunk like garbage, like trash. When that came out of me, my body felt like I could float. I was flying. I started crying. I was weeping. I weep for days after she pulled that demonic spirit out of me. She casted it out of her house. Dude, I couldn't watch Bambi without crying. I couldn't sing a gospel song without crying. I couldn't watch The Simpsons when Bart got punished. I would cry. I'm like, this is stupid. But to have a demon in you that made you feel that way, to have a relief, have Jesus Christ back in your heart, man, my life's been so much better since then. But I've had ghost stuff come to my rooms, talk to me, a lot of crazy things with demons. And now that I know why, because I hang out with a lot of witches at my shows. But yeah, I've got a lot of crazy stuff like that, and it's scary when people. Not every house has a demon either. When you watch these TV shows, there's a demon in this house. Bullshit. It's not a demon everywhere you go. You might have a spirit. You might have an entity, a ghost. Tracy brings him home from the cemetery. George, who NCI, he's got a ghost that runs out, flips him off out in the road and yells at him. George, yeah, you son of a bitch. And it's a black ghost too. And so George stops his car one day. You need to stop this shit. What did I ever do to you? Now the ghost just waves, and every now and then jumps in the back seat as he's driving home. He goes, "Get the hell out!" So there's stuff out there. So,
Patrick, I missed your question a while ago about ask it who he knows. If you'll post it again, I'll put it up there for him.
I didn't. I saw that. I don't know that person.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know something? I know so many people in the wrestling world. I've traveled around the world. If I don't see a face, I'll never forget a face. Might forget your name, but if I see a face, then I know who you are. So my head's like a Rolodex. It's just, I saw that name come up and I went to answer him and we went into something else. I'm sorry, bro. No, I don't know that person. I may know them, but if I saw a picture of them, I could tell you yes. I'd be lying if I told you yes or no.
Yeah, I'm that way with faces too. I can remember a face, but I don't remember the names or where I've seen them at. I can probably see somebody passing in a car, and I'll spot them at a Walmart or something later on and say, "I've seen you before." Don't know where, but when.
Yeah. I get noticed everywhere I go, especially in Vegas or Florida, Disneyland and MGM Studios. I'll be standing in line and somebody will say, "Yes, Terry Funk was a very good friend of mine." I'll tell you that wrestling story here in 1 second, matter of fact, about Terry Funk and I. People say, I had a little black girl standing in line. We're going in to see the Simpsons ride. And she kept looking at me. She goes, "I know you." And I'm like, "Stop bothering that man." And she goes, "Mommy, that's the man that's hanging on Daddy's wall." Oh, I hope it ain't from the post office. Anyway, we finally get together where we're next to each other in line. The little girl goes, "I know who you are." I says, "Shh, don't tell nobody. Who am I?" She goes, "You're a wrestler. My daddy's got you hanging on the wall." Well, after that, everybody in the line starts hitting you. "Oh, yeah, I remember you, Ravishing Randy." Then I went to ROCKIN Randy. So, yeah, it's kind of fun. It's, but sometimes you like to be left alone. Now, getting back to my buddy, Terry and Dory Funk. I did a show with Terry Funk in Illinois. I had my cast on my leg, and he was yes, Terry Funk was I was commentating, and we were down in the dressing room at this event. And I said, "Hey Terry, how you doing?" "Good." Randy goes, "You're not wrestling?" I said, "No, I got a cast on." I had a tuxedo on because I was commentating that night. And he goes, "Oh, man, bro, great to see you." So anyways, I'm upstairs commentating, doing my great, and I'm coming to the ring right now. He's got an elbow, I'm blaming all this shit. Terry Funk comes out there and he wrestles this guy in a prison shoot. He grabs the microphone and goes, "I got something to say to everybody right now. That's that wrestler over there, Ravishing Randy." "Oh, no, I forget. Now his name is Rockin' Randy. I would come up here and do an interview with me." I'm like, "Oh, no, this is not going to be good." So everybody's going, let's go. So I hobble up there without my crutches. I've got a tuxedo on with a cast. I get up there and I get in the ring. There's no comment. He just starts beating the piss out of me. I mean, just beating the hell out of me. And security's like, "Is that part of the show?" People, I don't know. So he's ripping my tuxedo off of me, ripping my jacket, throws me on, takes one of the metal chairs, and breaks my cast. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Shut up. Bang. And he's hooking me. And now I'm fighting back, and I'm trying to hobble. This went on for about 10 minutes. Finally, security broke up the fight because people were all screaming, yelling. And I get back in the dressing room. I go, what the hell's wrong with you? He goes, I had to make you look good. Well, thanks. Let me know. I just cost me $500 for a tuxedo. Now I got to go get another cast, Terry. Thank you so much. Terry was a great guy, yes. They're all good guys. They had a wrestling school in Georgia or somewhere for a while.
I'm going to have to let my dog out. You can tell something while I'm doing that.
All right. Yes, I did meet Andre the Giant in Syracuse, New York. Me and 4 other wrestlers. We actually we stood shoulder to shoulder, and we could put his coat around us and button it, his sport coat. And the ring that he wore on his finger was like a bracelet. I mean, literally, I could put it over my hand. He put his hand on my face, and I could feel his fingers touching the back of my head. That guy was huge, very awesome gentleman, great cook. He did a dinner for us in Niagara Falls at Russo the wrestler. Had a restaurant there at the top of Niagara Falls on the street. And his pan, he'd touch a pan, big pans like if you took a walk, it looked like those little pans you buy your kids, as a play set. He had pans, dude, look like hoods of cars. They actually sit on 4 burners. And he was a great chef and loved to tell jokes, loved to be funny. And let me tell you what, there's nobody in this world that could outdrink him. I mean, he'd drink a case of beer. We'd be sipping the first one. He shoot down a case of beer by himself, drink 4 or 5 bottles of alcohol, and never get drunk. He was just so big. Yes. A lot of people don't know this, that he actually got his start in Ringling Bailey's Barnum Circus, whatever it is. He was part of their circus at one time. People would come before they started the circus. They had it was like a big building where people come and see all the freaks of the world. And he worked for P.T. Barnum, and then he went to work for Vince McMahon's dad when it used to be WWWF, Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Then when Vince bought it, he made it WWF. And Andre's a super, super guy. Come to Talking Memphis podcast radio Tuesday night. If they give me a call, I'll be Tuesday nights. I do the NCI show. If they want to do a show earlier in the afternoon, I start their show at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So usually runs about 2 hours. So after 9 p.m. Eastern time or before, the show starts at 7 Eastern time. It gets me 2 hours beforehand. I'll be more than happy to do the show or come on another night. Being in the TV business, I'm really busy. I do I produce 2 shows on Monday, 3 shows on Tuesday. I do 2 shows on Wednesday, then I do 4 shows on Thursday. So put that one back there about the Giants. Andre from a restaurant called Giant Camp. I didn't know anything about that.
Oh, that's like Ox Baker had that restaurant in the Omni in Atlanta. Not too many people knew about that, and Burt Reynolds had one there.
You know something? Shaq has got a restaurant. It's called Shaq Chicken House here in Las Vegas. I didn't know he had one. And I live in Vegas. And then he's got a restaurant on the cruise ships too. Big and Rich, they've got a bar here in Vegas, which I did not know. And I know Big and Rich. Never told me they had a bar. They got one in Nashville. I've been upstairs to that. A lot of people got bars and restaurants that, I didn't even know they had.
Yeah.
We got dead air here. Do I need to play some music?
My head just went blank.
Jerry the King Lawler has a barbecue restaurant at Beale Street in Memphis. I know where he used to live in Clarksville, Tennessee. He owned a titty bar there. He used to own a titty bar there. I've been there a few times.
That's like
Maybe.
Diamond Dallas Page has that therapy thing he does.
Oh, dude, have you seen how well he's doing with Lex Luger?
I seen a little clip of that the other day where they had actually put in a ramp for him there in the living room or something.
Well, you know something? I mean, he was so bad off. Last time I saw him, he would weigh probably 120 pounds, soaking wet, walking very slow. Then I saw he was in a wheelchair. And Diamond Dallas Page, his stuff does work. He really does. I know Diamond, and his stuff really does work. I need to get on his thing because I'm getting old and crippled. Wrestling takes a toll on your body. I'm 62. Every morning I get up, I go, oh, Rensselaer, Indiana. Oh, Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, Atlanta, Georgia. You know where you took those hard shots. It's like, oh, yeah, it's rough on your body. Greg the Hammer Valentine, good friend of mine. Him and I see it a lot in Florida, and he's on so much pain medicine that half the time you don't know where he's at. He's just a drooling fool, And I'm like, he goes, I can't get off the pain. He goes, wrestling just beat me up, Macho Man Randy Savage, he moved from Downers Grove to Florida, and then his brother, the Genius, him and I used to work out together every 4 o'clock. And I'm like, dude, can't we go to the gym like early? Like 8 in the morning. No, got to go at 4. That's when they're cleaning the equipment and everything's freshly used. And I matter of fact, he just passed away not too long ago. He was working at CarMax selling cars. I'm like, dude, you went from wrestling to selling cars. He goes, hey, it's a living. I'm like, I guess so.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do to survive.
Yeah, he wrote a lot of children's books too. He was, helping children out. I will say this: when it comes to wrestlers, bikers, I know a lot of the Hell's Angels. I know the president here and one in California, Pee Wee. I don't care if they're murderers or not. When it comes to kids, they're always raising money for them.
Yeah.
They're even prisoners in the thing. They hear you raped or killed a kid, you're not going to make it in prison. No. And if you ain't got your heart helping out kids, you're wrong, because God says we're all brothers and sisters, and take care of the kids, and the kids will be our future. Yes, we used to go to the Army matches and watch them wrestle. What armory did you go to, Judy? I wrestled in a lot of armories. Indiana, Michigan. Oh, hell, a lot of armories. Rensselaer, Indiana was an armory there I used to wrestle in.
Come on, Judy, post it up.
Come on, Judy. We ain't got much time in the show. Ask Hillary. She'll tell Hillary how much time we got. Yeah, she's taking the dress to get it washed. I can't help it. I break out the note. Fort Homer in Tampa, Florida. Yes. Wrestled there many, many times in that armory. And they never turned the air conditioning on because I'd like to see big guys sweat. And the armory in Buffalo, Michigan. No, Buffalo, Indiana. It's Michigan, Indiana border. They're on the water. They never turned. They opened the doors. I'm like, we're big guys. We're out here. We're all sweaty on top of each other. Turn that damn air on.
Yeah.
She says it's a sweat box. It is a sweat box. Sweat was running down my back, the little crack of my ass, filling up my wrestling boots. That's how hot it was. Every time I walked, I was squishing.
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's a sweat box. Judy, you may have seen me wrestle. I used to wrestle in my later days as ROCKIN Randy. I used to wrestle against the Untouchables a lot down there. Mad Max Metal. I did a lot of shows down there in Tampa. But it is hot. I lived in Tampa, Florida. It was hot.
Yeah, 2 years ago now, basically, is when I got into this Bigfoot stuff, and I got to meet with. I got in with Woodwalkers with a Z, and
Woodwalkers, yes.
With Greg, Misty, and Spencer, and we went up to Kentucky for a camp out last April. I finally got to meet people, and now I've got over 160 friends that's from the podcast people that I deal with, and
Greg Olis was at the convention today. He had nobody at his booth. He came over and got in the booth with my guys.
well, Greg is a really good guy. I like Greg, and
Greg's awesome. He was on our show Tuesday night.
he comes.
We're making a movie with him.
Yeah,
we're making a movie with him in November.
He's come to several of the get-togethers that we've had down here, and with Cedar Creek Bottoms, Farmstead Life, and the one with Woodwalkers when they was down here, and Cedar Creek did a Christmas dinner thing at a meal down here at Silicaga, and he was there. And we got a bunch of people that in podcasts that it's like a whole nationwide network.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, brother. It's crazy. I mean, again, like I said, going from doing TV shows, going to podcasts, I thought was a downgrade in my life. But no, I met some of the greatest people doing, podcast shows, and some of the people that were good friends of mine met in the podcast shows. I brought them with me to Channel 12 when I opened up my TV station, and they've got their shows on there. And it's podcast is great. I can't stand doing being told what to say and what not to say. And on my show, I'm out under the FCC. I can say whatever I want. I can get up and dance naked on my camera if I want. It don't matter. Say, I'm not held back by anything, which is cool. Well, you see my show where, I talk about everything and anything.
Yeah.
If you watch Body Slamming Conversation, No Holds Barred with me, Rockin' Randy on Channel 12, I'm like the Dr. Phil and Jerry Springer of talk shows. I have everything I know from Bigfoot people to strippers to aliens. So I have a little of everything on my show, and I say it like it is. It's great.
I'm gonna have to subscribe for a month when I get my next check to see what all's going on.
Well, you can cancel at any time. There's no contract. You can watch us on TV. You can watch us on your laptop. You can watch us on your phone. It's if you go into Google, it's as soon as you push in Channel 12 TV network, not network TV network. We're the first one that pops up. We've got the red logo. Looks like the old what do you call it? The old Netflix, because Netflix changed their colors, so I picked up their colors. Yeah. And the very first one that pops up, $9.99 a month. You can't beat it, because we have a lot of talk shows, Bigfoot, paranormal witch shows. We got a travel channel on there. We've got cartoons for kids, Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, Spider-Man 1975. Plus, my movies are classic movies, which Batman, there you go. There's our logo. You can find that logo. You see that logo, that's us. You can, I've got Batman 1943, the whole series. There's like 36 of them. Lone Ranger, Zorro, Beverly Hillbillies, Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein. Just tons of great old TV that you can sit and watch with your kids and your grandkids when I have to be woke. Woke will make you broke. My channel is a wake channel. I'm trying to bring TV back like there was in the 70s, like Archie Bunker and all these other people that you can see and listen to stuff that you don't have to explain to your kids. Daddy, what's a transsexual? Or shit like that. You don't need that. Why can't I call mommy no more? The lady who birthed me. Mommy's mommy. That's the way I look at the channel. So yeah, it's multinational network communication, Canada included. You can watch my shows anywhere in the world. If you sign up to my channel, you can go in there. We're on Roku, we're on Fire Stick, Apple TV, Apple phone, Android phone, Chromecast. You can watch me everywhere and anywhere. And you can't go wrong. And we add new content every day because we have new shows every day. I usually, if it's 2 months old, I take it down, keep putting new stuff up all the time. I've got a station in England, got one in Ireland, and I've got a movie company that makes all my cryptid independent movies from England. I've got one in Florida, and I got one in Tennessee too. So we got 3 movie companies, and we got some great stuff. It's always something new. If you watch the NCI, guys, you never know what I might do. It might start out nicely, but somewhere it's running down. Ever heard of the Son of the Purple Sage? Yes, weren't they cowboys during the day after the war? Otherwise, I tell you no.
Yeah, we got people from Australia, Great Britain, all over the world that join in on our chats. And there's a young kid over there in the UK. His name is Daniel Lee Barnett. He has the Mystical Legends podcast. He found some eDNA over there, and it came back as part the female human, and the male was a old world ape. I don't know what an old world ape is, but that's what he.
Yeah, well, it's because they don't want to say it's a Bigfoot.
Yeah,
you know, we've got blood samples back and hair samples back, 80% monkey, 20% human. Well, tell us what that monkey is. Is it a gorilla? You know, the numbers, or it'll say mammal and 20% human. Well, tell us what are you seeing? You know, if we got hairs that are red, brown, what do you want to call it? You can see through it, you know.
Yeah.
And then it'll go back to colors. And that's why we believe that Bigfoot can shimmer and turn invisible, you know, like a chameleon does. Chameleon can change into colors of whatever he's sitting on. And I'm sure they're not the only animal that God made like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I have the Lone Ranger on there, and I have not got no Roy Rogers. I do have the Lone Ranger on there, and we got some great shows on there. Like I said, I don't want to be woke because you go broke, or Wake Channel. And guys, sign up, come and see us. If you'd like to be a guest on any of my shows, Tracy the Paranormal White Witch, or Body Slime with Randy, or Drinking Beer and Bullshit Guys, just send me a letter to Channel 12 TV Network Las Vegas at gmail.com, and I'll answer your letters. Or if you want to be a guest on our show, or if you just want to, sometimes we do virtual audiences. And I'll tell you what, Wendell was on our show the other day. We had a great time.
Yes, we did.
When he got on, he thought, what the hell am I doing here? We start out pretty crazy sometimes. And you only got just a little bit. Normally, normally I'm screaming and doing all kinds of shit. You know, I mean, because I get some really crazy people on my show, and I tell them, put the brakes on. You're lying.
Well, I was surprised that Tim, he had been down here to where we camp at and visited with Mark and them.
My 2-year-old's telling you hi.
Judy, spell check. It is Channel 12 TV Network, Las Vegas at gmail.com. So it's Channel 12 TV Network, Las Vegas at gmail.com. So, yeah, I know he's a big Bigfoot cop. He brought his strobe lights out today, trying to give me a small stroke. I was waiting for him to go, wee, wee, wee. Yeah, I saw his light. Wendell's got some toys he likes to play with. I like his toys. They're pretty cool. That's a pretty cool flashlight. Wendell's got some toys.
Oh. Here we go again.
There we go. Everybody hide your dope. The cops are here.
There's my flashlight. I don't know if it's going to show up on the back screen going.
Wendell, you know what I think would be cool as hell?
What's that?
Now think about this. Everybody out there, think about this. You know, people gift Bigfoot apples and meat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's give him some bottles of booze. In the woods today, Bigfoot was running through butt drunk and didn't know what the hell he was doing. Waving the cars on the highway and truckers holding up signs. Need more alcohol. I mean, that would be cool as hell to get a Bigfoot drunk. I mean, I think that'd be great TV. You should go camping with Wendell. I don't know. I don't know if I want to be in the woods with Wendell there.
We was down there doing a camp out, and Roger from Squatch and Holler was there, and it got dark, and he was walking with another fellow with me, and we went up to see if we could see anything, and I let them get further ahead of me. I had my little night vision thing going, and they turned around and was coming back, and he says, "Are you seeing anything?" And I said, "No, run!" And he about had a heart attack.
There he goes. But just imagine a drunk Bigfoot in the woods.
Yeah.
Now some guys might be getting raped in the woods, you know, but yeah, that's some. I just thought maybe a drunk Bigfoot would be cool as hell.
Yeah. You never know what he would do then, for sure.
Like I said, he's probably standing on the highway.
Down with you.
Yeah, he's standing on the highway with a sign up. You know, I just think it'd be cool as hell to see a Bigfoot drunk. I told Marie Dumont, who does Bigfoots in Florida, she said, "Oh, we gift them Reese bars and this and that." I'm like, give this son bitch a bottle of wine, give him some booze, some good old moonshine. Let's really see what he does.
Yeah. Then again, that could be a very bad thing too.
Well, look at it this way. They say once you feed a Bigfoot and you keep feeding him, he comes back for more. Imagine getting a drunk one. He's knocking on your door and he's like, "I need a drink. I need a drink." You know, and he's sitting there banging on your door with a rock glass. You know, then you know you got Bigfoot at your house. Yes, they do get mashed barrels. I have some friends who do moonshine in the hills, and I don't know why they still do it in the hills because you can make it. But yeah, they say they get into the mash, into the grain, and they eat the grain and stuff. You know, I told them, I said, "You guys want to be popular? Put some night juice in there, you know, and let him eat some of that little sleeping stuff like they put animals to sleep with. While he's eating that grain, he'll fall out. You guys got yourselves a Bigfoot, you know."
Yeah.
Yeah, put him to sleep. I don't know what you're going to keep him in to keep him asleep, but, you know. Let's see here. I'm trying to read all the comments. Yeah, knock on the door saying, "Hey, baby." That would be some funny shit right there.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, playing some Jimmy Buffett music. I can see Bigfoot singing, "Hey, it's Margaritaville, so it's Margarita. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Come on, let's get drunk." Yeah, and I've got. We play a lot of sounds from Bigfoot on our shows. Did I play the sound for you the other night? The Bigfoot sound, the screaming.
No, you didn't have it set up.
Oh yeah, we got sounds of the dog man, the werewolf, Bigfoot. We get a lot of stuff that, you know, we can't identify. We send it to people who can. I know every animal in the woods. I don't know what the hell that is. A dog man sounds like a dog howling, really.
Yeah.
And a werewolf sounds like a wolf howling, except it's a whole lot stronger and a whole lot longer. And, you know, Bigfoot, people don't know this, but Bigfoot can actually imitate kids,
Yes,
people, birds, woodpeckers, rabbits, anything that makes a sound that lives in the woods. A Bigfoot can copy that. They're great mimickers. My grandson, who is now part of the NCI team, he's the youngest member ever of the NCI team and Channel 12 TV network. He took us out with his camera. We did a live shot, and he showed us all these bedding areas and sticks and stuff. As a matter of fact, my guys were like, "Wow, you had that in your backyard?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he saw
Gary,
Bigfoot.
I don't have it where I can play it right now.
Say that again?
Gary wanted me to play his recording, but I don't have it where I can play it at this time.
Yeah, this was kind of a last minute show deal, guys.
Yeah, we didn't have no. I'm on my laptop here, so I don't have none of the stuff I got on my phone on here.
Yeah, so all the stuff I get off my phone or my shows, I put it on my shows and I delete it off my computer because otherwise I'll have thousands and thousands and thousands of. Now, I've got 2 terabyte hard drives, 2 of them full of just stuff that people send me or that we've got, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys, I apologize. Wendell was on my show Thursday night, right? Yeah,
Thursday night.
And I'm just really busy. You know, if I would have had more time to prepare, I would have saw if I could got some of the sounds over here for you. So, because a lot of times I do shows, they won't allow me to play sounds on their shows. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So if I would have known that, I would have brought a little of everything with me. Maybe the next time, or come and see me on Channel 12. We play it all. I'm really pumping on my channel today, bro. You know,
I'm good. That's good. Go for it. I'm happy for you to share it with everybody.
You know, too. Also, if you guys would like to be on the show, or you got a show idea, or you would like to do a TV show, and we're not a podcast, we're a TV show, send me a letter. Get a hold of Wendell. Wendell's my new guy now. Wendell and I'm going to start working with Wendell a lot because he's got a lot of great information. He's big on his Bigfoot. I know he's new to the podcast, but Wendell's got a lot of happenings and a lot of things. And Dogman Howls will drain your blood. Yes, it will, because it's a sound. It's like a, you know. Yes, Channel 12 TV Network. You can find us. Send me a letter to Channel 12 TV Network, Las Vegas @gmail.com. And I'll be more than happy to talk to you about a show idea or getting you on a television station if you got a really good podcast. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk to Wendell here probably the next couple of days. I'm going to maybe bringing him to Channel 12.
That'd be interesting. I don't know that I have enough experience to make a good show for you on a regular area.
Well, you know something? When you do a good show, people, you know, I'll be honest with you, we start talking about Bigfoot on my shows on the NCI, and we'll talk from Bigfoot, we'll get into Dogman, and all of a sudden we'll start bringing up the Bible. Or we're talking about crazy shit that happened in the field. You know, so it's always somewhere in the show it starts to go to that rabbit hole, you know, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, it's entertainment TV, but what you see is what you get. We don't fake anything. We don't, you know, we don't go out in the woods and say, oh, there's a Bigfoot. Unless we can show it to you, we won't. We see it, you see it. And a lot of people, you know, Wendell, you said you've never seen a Bigfoot, but you've heard one, correct?
Right.
Okay, well, you know, some people have heard it and didn't even know what the hell it was.
Yeah.
You know, my grandson, who's 13, who's now an NCI member, he's going to have his own show called The Joey Show. Crazy Boy Joey. This kid brought so much to the table that even my crew were going, damn, he needs to be on the NCI team. He's out, 13 years old. Kid's writing a book. Very good. His show will be starting up this week sometime. And Wendell, I want to have you on his show as a guest.
Okay.
I think you and him would have a great time. He's quick. He's witty. He's funny like his grandpa. You know, the kid, he's not your average 13-year-old. He really isn't.
Yeah.
He likes to hunt, fish, and search for paranormal and cryptic stuff. And I'm like, hey, you better take it easy there, buddy. But yeah,
well, like I told you the other night, I'm thinking about having a couple of young folks on to do a show about what they have experienced. And I really don't know who it would be yet. So the reason I haven't gone through with it, some of them, the parents may not want them to be. Greg House, his daughter Abby, she's not seen one, but she has had some experiences with him. And that Daniel Lee Barnett, I talked to him. They're really the only two young people that I know in the community. So,
well, you know something, the kids are the youth of America. When my grandson came on the show the other day, he'd ask me questions about Bigfoot stuff, and I'd answer him. And he would talk to George Lunsford, who George has got 3 books out that you can buy on Amazon. My grandson's writing a book about Greek mythology. He's 13. He's already in his 4th chapter writing. He came on the show as a guest. I didn't know he was going to take us out in his backyard and show us all this stuff. Yeah, Grandpa, see this? Where they brought the vines over and this is twisted. Here's an axe. Here's an axe on the ground. There was a stream, like a little bit of water that Bigfoot actually set up, and they're sitting on these logs. You know?
Yeah.
They're drinking and eating and stuff. And, you know, I'm like, damn, the kids surprised the hell out of me. These kids know a lot. They hear a lot. But I think the youth of America is the way to go. And Dogman sometimes walks in the woods clinking their teeth. Yes, they do. And so does the werewolf. You know, constantly here. Also, we've also noticed, when my grandson said he's heard this too, it sounds like 2 pans being slapped together in the woods. If you do hear like 2 pans, 2 metal objects, or a ting-ting, that's usually a portal opening up. That's how we believe that Dogman, or maybe even the werewolf, are coming in and out. Because whenever my guys have been in the woods and they've seen a Bigfoot, they've heard that ting-ting, so like 2 pots, pans clamming, a Dogman shows up.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I've had guys who were on my show, respectable guys, police officers who said that they were out hunting and a mist of smoke come up out of the ground and they were translucent, but a Dogman came translucent through the smoke and started filling in. You know, you could see him. And the Dogman told him, I'm here to kill you. There's not a thing you can do about it. I'm going to kill you. And he started praying to Jesus. And the Dogman said, stop that. And the more he prayed, the Dogman turned back to translucent and turned into a puff of smoke. The other officer was having a heart attack on what he had seen. They got in the truck and they were driving about 45 miles an hour down a back road. And all of a sudden, a puff of smoke come up in front of them. Here come a Dogman out, and he's running beside the vehicle at 55 miles an hour, looking in. Again, not talking, but ESP saying, you know, I could rip this truck door off and kill both of you right now. And they started praying again, and it kept telling them, stop it. And the Dogman ran in front of them, cut in front of them, and ran into a field. And they said his feet were not even touching the ground. It was like he was floating on air as he was running. They went back the next day to get their tents and stuff, and they were shredded like someone took razor knives and shredded their tents. Destroyed it.
Roger Williams from Squatch and Holler, his son Peyton and a buddy of his was cruising the back roads one evening, and he rounded this curve, and he seen a dog that sitting in the road. It looked like it didn't have any eyes, and then it started moving into the grass, and it just turned into a puff of smoke.
Probably a Dogman. You know, we've gotten a lot of reports on our show. We get a lot of reports by mail. We believe that Dogman is supernatural. You know, they can come in and out through smoke, through portals. Some people think that Dogman can do this. You know, Bigfoot can go in through portals. Things like the predator in the woods. Yes, they are. Bigfoot is the biggest and strongest predator in the woods. I've had reports in the LBL where people have actually got seen. Pictures weren't very good of the Dogman and Bigfoot fighting each other.
Gary sent me his recording from his big fellow up there, and if you want, I can try and play it here.
Sure, go ahead. Knock it out. That sounds like a Dogman.
That's what I was wondering too, because it does have the canine cadence.
Yes, it sounds like a Dogman, pretty close to a werewolf, except it doesn't have the howl.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dogman and the werewolf. The werewolf has that ooh at the very end of it. That sounds like a Dogman. And usually, what I understand, if you metallic zinging, howling, yes. Normally, if you hear that pinging sound, that's a Dogman. And we got reports that we believe that the Dogman and Bigfoot are working together. That Bigfoot are grabbing these dogmen puppies, as we were told, and raising them like we do for hunting dogs. Because people said they'd seen Dogman take down prey, and then Bigfoot would show up and pick it up and walk away with it.
Okay.
So it's like the coyotes do.
Yeah.
Bigfoot uses a lot of the coyotes for killing, for like hogs and stuff like that. And then Bigfoot will walk down and do his. There are reports we've heard where you hear coyotes howling that you can you'll find a Bigfoot. So I mean, we get lots of reports. Again, we're not there. We just get the same reports from different people from different places.
Gary said that was the big man calling his son.
No, that that's not. That's a dog, man. That's not a. Bigfoot has got more of a. Believe me, I wish I had the sounds I could play them for you. Bigfoot has 3 or 4 sounds that it makes, and we also found out that these tree knocks that you're hearing,
yeah,
they're not tree knocks; they're vocalization. You know,
tongue
using
clicking and
yes,
stuff like that.
I've heard Bigfoots. I was in Florida in the Alligator Alley down in the swamped area. I had pulled my bus in at the Indian reservation to park, get out, smoke a cigarette. And I've heard 2 Bigfoots talking. It sounds like almost like a. You hear that teeth chattering? And I go, oh, look at the time. I got to go. Because I'm thinking, they're watching me. I might be lunch on this big bus, you know? Yeah, we have a lot of different sounds of Bigfoot. And Bigfoot's got a. How can I say it? They don't howl. They have that growl. And then you'll hear a female answer back in a lower pitch growl. You know, it's like a man and a woman. You know what I'm saying? You can tell the difference in voices.
Yeah.
And we've got some where they're calling each other. Big man talks to me and told me it was him. I like I said, what I'm hearing sounds to me like a dog man, but again, that's my opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Just from all the thousands of recordings that I've heard and that we've gotten, I've never heard a Bigfoot sound like that. Doesn't mean it's not true. You know, Bigfoot might be mimicking a dog man or a werewolf. Who knows? You know something? People who see Bigfoot at night normally don't see him, and it's a big blob. And if you don't see something bigger and heavier walking, that's why we do all our investigations in the daytime. I don't believe everything at nighttime in the woods is a Bigfoot. A lot of the stuff you see on TV shows, and I know this for a fact, are faked. That's people standing out there with no shirts on, in their shorts, walking across the woods, you know, from a distance, and you got that blob. A lot of this stuff's fake because it's for TV, and they need the ratings. A lot of the shows, that's why I'm really hard about this. I don't need ratings because we're true to what we do. That's why we do everything in the daytime. Taps, the ghost guys, I mean, I've literally caught them, and I know people have been on the show where they roll the marble across the floor. It was underneath his foot. He kicks it and rolls across the room. I'm like, dude, I just saw you kick that across the floor. You know?
Yeah.
Because for ratings, they had to. Not every house you go to has a ghost. And if they do, doesn't mean they're there every day. Tracy, who's my paranormal witch, she's been to places where it's like Ghost City. And then she'll take other people there and there ain't a damn thing going on. She goes, I look like I'm a liar, you know? But they don't always show up. Same thing with Bigfoot. You know, if you want to see a Bigfoot and you know they're in that area, go out with a lawn chair, set it down and say, okay, big boy, I'm here. Let's talk. I'm not here to hurt you. You know, I'm not here to hunt you. They will come to you because they're more interested in you than you are them. And I tell a lot of these camping sites, I've been doing this for shit 40 years. If you go to a campsite and everybody's sitting around a campfire, set up 4 cameras, north, south, east, and west, looking at the group. So they're facing you, but you can see what's behind you. And you'll be amazed how many people I've told that, and they'll see something walking in the wood line behind them, stopping, peeking, looking, because they're interested in what we're doing. Playing music. I tell them, play music, sing campfire songs. And you got the cameras facing north, south, east, and west at you, not out, in other words, it's looking at me, but you can see what's behind me.
Yes.
You'll be amazed how much footage you will get if there are Bigfoot in the area. I had a couple of them that were not Bigfoot. And that night when they went to bed, something was scratched their Winnebago, scratched their trailers, was rocking their houses, Yeah. And werewolves are dogmen. Robert we've got werewolf tracks we actually have. They're about 14 to 15 inches long. And it almost looks like a woman's foot. In the front, it's got 3-toe or sometimes 4. You can see the claws, but it's slender, and then it gets real thin to the heel. And they run about 14 inches. That's a werewolf. Dogman is a round print, larger with a back step to it. And then a Bigfoot, of course, is a larger foot. We've been doing this for years, and, we're just now bringing it to TV. And
now that you mentioned that, the track that I found down at Chinnaby Lake near Cheehaw Mountain down here, I thought was just a skinny Bigfoot track. May have been a Dogman track instead.
Well, again, you'll know a Dogman track. You ever seen your dog's paws in the snow or in the dirt?
Well, this was
you'll see the 3 pads, then the round pad in the center.
Yeah.
It'll be about the size of a dinner plate. Remember, we just got new pictures of a Dogman trail that we had found this Saturday in North Carolina. Lady had a report of a Dogman. We went there to check it out. We found it. The werewolf will be long and skinny, real long, and it's got that shape. A woman's foot bends in more than a man's. You'll see that. Now, there's 2 different kinds of werewolves. There's a werewolf that his legs are like ours, and there's a werewolf that its legs are backwards, like his knees are in the back, and the feet are really long. That you will not see no heel print, because the way the foot sets, you can tell it's not a Bigfoot. It's not a Dogman. You can tell. Again, you'll see the 3, maybe 4-toed in the front, and they're super long. The werewolf with its legs and knees go backwards, that you don't want to be around. Any werewolves and Dogmans are not safe to be around.
Yeah.
We just don't know that much about them. People say, we got a report today about a Bigfoot killing some people. Rob Lowe sent me, Rob Lowe, the actor, him and his family was attacked. I'm gonna have him on the show. Were attacked by Bigfoot at their cabin. Well, you must have pissed him off somewhere, because they're not out to hurt people. I mean, you can have a crazy one, just like people.
Yeah.
Good people, and you got bad people. The ones in California are a little bit nastier than the ones on the east and south, the United States. They're a little bit set back. But, when you take a shot at a Bigfoot, you kill one or you hurt one, you better believe the rest of the clan's going to be there. Especially if you shoot one and hurt it, you are going to be there. It's like any animal. It's going to protect its young and protect itself. Let's see here.
That's what I got right there. If you can make any sense out of it.
All right, that's not okay. Do you see the front toe, how it's stuck in the ground?
Yeah.
The center. And you look off to the left. If you look about an inch to the right, you'll see another toe, and off to the other left, right beside it, we'll see at 3 o'clock and almost 10 o'clock, you'll see another toe. To me, that's a Dogman track.
Okay.
From what I can see, it looks like a Dogman. I can't say it is because I can't. Film hides a lot.
Yeah.
But see, there's no heel. There's no heel to it.
Well, the heel's right in here, but at the 13-inch mark, and it was right in the edge of the creek where it used the The track wasn't real good. So
Okay,
I
I see what you're saying because I'm following that stick across. I'm getting the shape. Now that to me, that's not a dogman print. I would let my guys see this. I'd probably tell you it's more like a werewolf print.
oh, okay.
There's a werewolf always the center toe is usually the one that sits deep in the ground. It's like on a dog. If you look at your dog's foot, the center toe is longer.
Yeah.
Because until you said here, I'm actually looking at the picture. That's not. I would say it's probably a werewolf print. Because a dogman is really round, but you'll see the pads. It's hard to tell when you're looking at a picture, especially on the.
That's a different angle at it. I don't know if it'll show anything.
Well, I'm kind of seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
See, it's not. If it was a Bigfoot print, see where the rocks are in the center of it?
Right there.
Yeah, right there in the middle, about the 7-inch mark.
Yeah.
Those wouldn't be mashed down. See, because a Bigfoot doesn't have the same arch in his foot as we do. We walk like this. They walk heel toe. So there's a difference. I would say that's definitely not a Bigfoot print.
Okay. That's good to know. And go back up here. Where does this go, Billy? Right here. I definitely need to do this.
Wendell, I may have some pictures for you. Hang on.
All right.
Let me go to an image filer here. I have some pictures. Yes, I got some pictures I will bring to you right here. This is from Saturday. If it loads in. All right, with the image. I don't see what the problem is with the image. Let me just share my screen.
All right.
Let's go to Windows. Share. That ain't working either. Damn. I'm trying, guys. I got some really good pictures. Let me see if I can get this one out. There you go. Pull that up. That's a dogman print.
Okay.
See the pad? See the foot? If you look at the top, you see the ball. That's a dogman print.
Okay.
I will show. Now that I got that to work, let me see if I can find another one for you. It's up. You can pull it up anytime you want.
I'm looking for it.
It's the only one up there.
Actually, this is the only one I have. Okay.
All right. No, that's a tree break. I'm sorry. I'm trying to show because I'm looking at a little screen here. So let me.
Yeah. Hello, Greg House. I'm glad to see you in here. He's the guy that's been living with them for 25 years now up here in North Alabama.
All right. Yeah, here's another picture I might be able to share with you. I'm not supposed to be sharing these because they're supposed to be out of my show, but hell, what the hell? We're going to do it anyways.
Yep.
That's another print. Let me go see if I can find it.
That's the same one.
Yeah, I might hit the same one. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to. not throw out all the. Oh Lord, where's these prints at? Try that one.
All right.
Okay. That right there. See the if you look down towards the bottom of the screen where the flower's at,
Yeah.
you'll see 3 toes. And then you see the foot stretches out. It comes to the top of the heel. That is a werewolf print. See how it's slender?
Yeah. It's only that wide right there.
Yeah, it's not very wide.
Yeah, that's the way that one was that I had from down at Lake Chenevy.
Yeah, they're a whole lot different. Let me see here if I can find you another one. I was going through my stuff as we were talking. I was trying to find you some stuff here. I don't know if I can share. I should be able to share this with you. Where in the world's it at here? All files. Can I show a video on here?
We can try it.
All right, let me try it this way. File, video file. Here you go. You show this video. This is from Saturday's hunt.
That's not natural. That brake's not right. The way this is done right here.
You got that, go try that one, stand upside down.
Yeah,
Hang on
something's been bedding right there, or been laying right there. And if you look, you wonder why they know we're here? Because if you look right behind us, there's the trucks. Here's where they're hanging out, watching for us. If you look right here, back in the back, the laurel's pulled out. It's pushed up like a hedgerow.
I guess that's the end of it.
Yeah, well, they shoot clips for me. You know what I'm saying when they're out there. So, but we have, like I said, my guys are out there. They show you all this stuff, and it's kind of neat, you know, to share stuff like that with you guys. And I'm not supposed to be showing this stuff, but I say, hey, what the hell, you
It's
know?
your stuff. You show it if you want to.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, we have here's let me see here. Here's something that's really wild. See how the trees are stacked together
Yeah.
and that one going across?
Yeah, we see stuff like that a lot.
Yeah, those are usually Bigfoot huts or markings that they have.
Yeah, one of these days maybe we'll figure out what they mean.
Well, that's just it. You know, we find a lot of they look like domes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all weaved, and
Yeah.
you know it could be raining outside, and they've been inside them when it's raining, and not a drop of water's falling inside. No rain, no nothing's coming inside. You know, now something had to make that with thumbs. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That ain't a bear doing that.
No.
Excuse me. We also found teepees where it's teepeed out,
Yeah.
and in between the teepees, it's woven with sticks and vines. Then there's brush plate on top of that one way, and then the brush is put out, weaved in it the opposite way. So it's almost like a lawn chair. It's
Yeah.
weaved, and very little water comes through there, and the smell of those are very nasty. You know, where they've done their kills and slept in there, and
Yeah.
yeah, I had a couple of my guys went inside to see one, and they come out of puking.
Must have been a fairly fresh one then, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, we found deer skulls in there and deer jaws, and we found a lot of different things in the woods inside those places. Especially when they make like the fencing, so it's like kind of a corral. We'll find rib cages in there that have been busted. You can see where they suck the marrow on them, teeth marks when they're ripping it off, like when we do ribs, you know.
This guy Greg House, you need to have him on one of your shows to tell some of his stories. That he's talked about the having deer stolen. Had some guys on motorcycles that they got after, and all kinds of really interesting stories.
Hey, Greg, I'd love to have you on the show. We film on Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you get a hold of Wendell can give me your information, and then I could see about putting you on the show.
I'll do it. If he wants to do it, I'll do it.
You know, I got no problem with bringing people on, especially if they got, if they got good stuff. We have a lot of people come on here and say one thing, and they talk about something else. And the guy says, I got pictures of Bigfoot running in my backyard. I get him on the show. Yeah, Bigfoot threw me down and was fucking me in the ass. I'm like, I'll do it. All right.
Well, Greg don't have pictures. He don't do that. It started out with them being quite kind of belligerent towards him, and he finally got them settled down, and he ain't doing nothing that's going to provoke them.
Well, that's just the thing, If you don't provoke them, you're better off, because people go out there and they take shots at them. We got a report. They called us at 2:00 in the morning, and they said that Bigfoot had barricaded the doors with the refrigerators they had outside and large rocks and boulders.
Dang, that gotta be scary.
And we told them, we're like, hey, we can't come out at 2 a.m. We ain't gonna see shit in the morning.
Yeah. And
they were calling and saying, can you come help us? Call the sheriff's department. We're not gonna come out there and shoot them and run them off.
Yeah.
We're not here to hurt them. We're here to investigate them. So we were going to go out the next day, and they said the sheriff's department came out. They got a hold of the sheriff's department finally. I don't know why they didn't call them in the first place, but they finally got out of their houses and they left. Well, come to find the truth out that the father saw a small one and took a pop shot at the little one. I don't know if he hit him or not, but they ran in the house. Now, why Bigfoot didn't knock the damn doors down or whatever, I have no idea, but it barricaded them in the house to keep them there.
Yeah.
And the sheriff's department got there. They had 4 or 5 people to move these big rocks. I guess they were not little rocks. They were boulders that they had placed up against the door so they couldn't get out. They put the refrigerators and stuff in front of the windows and all kinds of shit. Kept them barricaded in the house.
Okay. They must have decided that they didn't want them out there messing with them in the woods that night.
Well, I figured, I said, something, they were probably locking you in and planning to come back and eat your happy asses after they want to see what you did to the little one.
Might be.
Who knows? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows everything. Nobody's an expert at this stuff. Anybody tells you I'm an expert in Bigfoot, I'm an expert in this, I said, goodbye, have a nice day, because none of us are experts in any of this. I don't care if it's paranormal, cryptic, dogman, werewolf, aliens. Nobody's an expert. If you're an expert, you're working for the government.
Yeah.
Gene, thanks for joining us on the show. Glad to have you here watching.
Yeah, Jean's a very nice lady. And so's Catherine and Sandra and
It's
Robin.
wonderful to hear that James is a very nice lady.
Shut up. I thought I cut you off.
Sounds like my phone. I have one of those Siri boxes, but it's got the other name, starts with an A. If I say her name, she'll start talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I'm in a conversation, she'll butt in. It's like she's listening to me all the time.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they do. They listen to you all the time. Something, everybody on your show, thank you for joining us today, man. It's been a pleasure to do a live show. I don't do many of them, Usually they're all pre-recorded, or I do a Bigfoot syndicated radio. I've done them. I've done radio shows and podcast shows. And it's been a while since I've done a live podcast show. It feels kind of good.
I've had a ball having you on here this evening, and we've actually made it 2 hours.
Oh, I know. We could keep talking for probably another two. We talked for 3 hours on the phone that one night. Last name, my last name is Stewart, Stewart. If you go to my Facebook page, it's Randy Stewart, and it's got WROK. It's right behind me is my background, and it's me and Larry the Cable Guy standing together. You won't find me and Larry are good friends.
I need to get him on my show now.
I've been trying to get on my show for 6 months. He's doing his own podcast now.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's doing his own podcast show. Randy, let me know. And I call. I call. He lives right there in Sanford, Florida. Like I said, if you guys go to my Facebook, you can actually see my grandson is on there that went out into the woods in his backyard at the park and showed us all the Bigfoot stuff. He's now a new member of the NCI. Very good kid. He'll have his own show called The Joey Show. We call him Crazy Boy Joey. Very smart kid. I put clips up when I can because I'm just so busy in the studio all the time doing shows. I try to put as much. You can see some of my older podcast shows on YouTube, but all my Channel 12 stuff in the past year has been, of course, it's kept cryptic from everybody. So,
Yeah.
Well, brother, I've had such a blast. I'm telling you, man, I can sit and talk to you for hours.
See, can he tell how to watch his channel one more time?
Yes. You can go to Channel 12 TV Network .nowcast NOWCAST nowcast.cc. It's Channel 12 TV Network. I was trying to put it in the chat, but for some reason, if I chat, it tells me I have to leave. So, I hit join chat. That says connecting to YouTube. And then I put in my thing in here, and it says, okay, join here. And it says continue. Let me see if it's going to do it again. Okay, hopefully I can get in. Okay, here we are. I think I got in. I'm going to put it down here for everybody. Channel 12 TV Network .nowcast.cc.
Good night, Val. Glad you got to be with us.
Mine turned a faded white and it's all in red. It says this comment has failed to post to 911.
Let's see. If I could find it showing up on my screen here somewhere, I would post it. But I don't.
It says, I got it. It says this comment has failed to the post to Bigfoot 911. Okay. It's shaded out on my side. Let me see what happens when I put in hello.
That works.
Well, let me put it in here again. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Network.nowcast.cc. Nope. I guess you can't. I can't put my TV station in there.
That's weird.
Anyways, it's Channel 12 TV Network .nowcast NOWCAST, one word. Channel 12 TV Network .nowcast.cc.
I bet if Gary tried, he could do it.
Jerry, if you want to try typing it in and see what happens to you, so everybody has it.
Hey, Miss Verby.
Robin M says she got it. Yeah, come check us out. You can see me on Facebook. You can see some clips from my shows. We have a lot of celebrities on my TV show. Danny Boone from the Rehab Band was on my show. He's on my channel. I think I got a clip up there. I've got magicians from Las Vegas, Murray, Sawchuck. You see him on Pawn Stars. He's been on my show. Gene Simmons, Jessica Simpson. A lot of major stars have been on my show. So I'm Body Slamming Conversations. It's $9.99 a month. I can cancel at any time. Believe me, there's new stuff each and every day. We put new stuff up. So
Well, you have a link on your Facebook page where they can go to your
yes. It's a
That's
link on my Facebook page. That'd probably be the best place to find it.
Yeah.
A matter of fact, I'm going to tell you what. Anybody that joins today, signs up for subscription, because I'm on Wendell's 911 show today. Wendell, I don't do this for a lot of people, but I'm going to do it for you. I will take the first 10. I will put them in. StreamYard has the thing where you can give giveaways.
Yeah.
I will put their names in, and I will hit it, and I will give one of your lucky audience members a 1 hour free Channel 12 TV network of their own, whatever they want to talk about. I will give them a 1 hour free. So they can do their show for 1 hour free.
Thank you, sir.
First 10 to come in there. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll pick 2 out of the first 10. Then I will give them a 1 hour. And anytime they want to do a show, whatever they want to do it about, I don't care. It's cutting hair, telling jokes, making scrambled eggs, whatever they want to do for an hour, I will give them a free 1 hour on Channel 12 TV Network, just because they're on your show today, listening and watching Bigfoot 911. So if they subscribe today, I can see who they are because I get a Nielsen rating every day. Show me who joins up and who signs up stuff. I will give 2 lucky members of your audience a chance to have a 1 hour free show on Channel 12 TV Network. Never know. I had a late Tracy, my paranormal white witch. She won one of those contests. Now she's one of my best hosts out there. Her show's on twice a week. She's on Monday and Wednesday nights. My channel is 24/7. So just because we record on Tuesday and Thursday doesn't mean it's the only time you can watch it. You can watch my shows 24/7, 7 days a week. The channel's never off unless, there's a power outage somewhere or your internet's bad. I can't help that, but we're on. So you can catch all the late shows, all the earlier shows, catch all the TV, cartoons and stuff. But just because Wendell is such a great guy, I met him and he did my show the other night. And Wendell, I'm going to have my son wants you on his show because you asked him to be on your show. He said, Grandma, can I get that guy, the Bigfoot 911? I said, yeah, we'll get him on your show. So, I'll have to get you up there. We might. I don't know. We might do a live like you're doing right now. Just do a live show with Bigfoot 911 on there so all your friends and fans can come out there and see the youngest member who's kid's got a lot on the ball. And you guys will have a great time. Plus, I'll be there anyways. I'm going to help him host his show. So I'm going to be his Ed McMahon to Johnny Carson. So we'll see how that works out.
Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and wind this down and get our little thing going. And
I see the cop lights out. Hide the booze and the dope.
Gotta go chase them boogers.
Gotta chase some boogers. Hey, thank you, Wendell, so much. Thank you to all your fans and friends out here. It was awesome being out here talking to everybody. And come and check us out on Channel 12. And you never know, Wendell might be on that channel one day. We just got to talk into it.
Never know.
Never know.
I know Glenn says you was talking to him about his show getting on your one day.
Yeah, Glenn's movie that he made. Matter of fact, he sent it to me today. They told me at the meet they had today that he's going to send me his movie. I'm going to be showing. I show a lot of independent movies, a lot of cryptic movies. I got Robbie Garber out there. He's out of Wyoming. Haunted Ghost Towns. His show. So
Glenn is the Sport Cat guy. Greg is the one that had the movie.
Yeah, Greg. Like I said, I got a lot of things in his head, brother. A lot of things. There's too many shots with a chair. Should have put my hand up when I didn't. I get hit in the head. All
right. Well, let's put an end to the live stream, and I'll hold you in the back for a minute and
All right.
then get everything posted.
God bless each and every one of you. May the Lord put a hedge of protection around each and every one of you. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Oh.